Up in today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis as Bitcoin mining difficulty hits yet another all-time high as Bitcoin miners selling peaks. And check this out, quoting Plan B, I am certain of one thing, Bitcoin being the scarcest asset in the world will do something with its value. And Max Kaiser, in regards to Bitcoin new all-time high against the Argentine peso, he says, Bitcoin is taking out all fiat money in order of their weakness. Eventually, the US dollar will get taken out. We'll also be discussing Cathie Wood's ARK sells 135,000 Coinbase shares as the price hits $90, as well as the Cboe refiles 5 Bitcoin ETFs to include Coinbase surveillance agreements, as well as Grayscale CEO says BlackRock ETF filing is a moment of validation for Bitcoin. We'll also be discussing the latest from the Binance CEO CZ, which he just shared on Twitter Spaces. The year after the Bitcoin halving is usually the bull year. We'll also be discussing his prediction of Bitcoin going as high as $10 million per coin, as well as Samson Mao's $10 million Bitcoin price prediction. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell to turn on daily notifications. And that way you get notified each and every single day when we go live here on the channel. And with that being shared, welcome to y'all just joining us here today. This is pod episode number 1339. I'm your host, JV, and today is July 12th, 2023. We were pumping here this morning. Slight correction, just down maybe 1%, still maintaining above 30,200, as you can see here on the screen. We also have Ether correcting down 0.25%, trading just under $1,900, and also XRP, BNB, Solana, and Cardano all correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we can see the market cap currently sitting just under 1.9 trillion with about 31 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance at 49.9% with the Ether dominance at 19.1%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, Conflux leading the pack, up 9%, trading just above 19.6 cents, followed by BitDAO up 6%, trading just under 48 cents, followed by 1inch up 6%, trading just above 32 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, we can see Hex leading the pack, up 15%, followed by Conflux up 8%, followed by COS up 6.8%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators, guess what? We're back in greed, rated a 64 on the day. Yesterday was a 57, last week a 61, and last month a 47, which is neutral. Now, let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. If you're just joining us, make sure to say hello and where you're from in the live chat. And at the end of the show, as we do on every episode, we're going to be going over some live Q&A and reading all of your comments out loud. So yeah, let's check out the charts and what is popping on the King Crypto. Bitcoin eased higher into July 12th with the key macroeconomic event of the week hours away. In fact, it probably has already passed from the time this article was published. So if you know the CPI data, which has officially been released, let me know in the live chat and we shall discuss it a little later here in the show. Here's what Material Indicators had to share. Fire chart shows Bitcoin asset liquidity moving closer to the active trading zone while the bid support strengthens, expecting to see liquidity thinned out in the heart of the active trading range between now and Wednesday morning to clear the way for volatility around the CPI report. Now, it was expected to be roughly 3.2%, the lowest score since March of 2021, should show U.S. inflation continuing to slow down, but we shall soon see. Now, quoting a crypto trader here in regards to the Darth Maul candle, there's a good chance we see the usual Darth Maul candle where both low time frame highs and lows are taken out shortly after the CPI. And lo and behold, we started correcting probably right after that was released, so probably accurate here. From there on out, the real direction for the day is often chosen, which could then target 31,100 or 30,200 level, in my opinion. And Decent Trader shared volatility both ways to liquidate everyone. Then the price reverts back to where it was immediately prior to the CPI release. Probably right there. And on the longer time frames, popular trader Mustache considered that the chances of a repeat performance of the classic bull runs, quoting him here, every time Bitcoin made a monthly close above the simple moving average 20 line, it was the ultimate confirmation of a bull run, but for the following 2 years, it never again went below this line, except during the COVID crash. He commented, very interesting. And as pointed out here, Bitcoin mining difficulty hits another all-time high as Bitcoin miner selling peaks. And also breaking news, new all-time highs set for Bitcoin against the Argentine peso. It makes one wonder why the IMF has tried to discourage Argentina from adopting it. And as Max points out, Bitcoin has taken out all fiat money in the order of their weakness. Eventually, the US dollar will get taken out. Facts. And quoting Plan B, creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, he shared this chart and wrote, few people realize that Bitcoin will not only be scarcer than gold, but also scarcer than real estate after the 2024 halving. The current Bitcoin stock to flow ratio is 55, and after the halving, it's 110. I am certain of one thing, being the scarcest asset in the world will do something with value. Preach, because Bitcoin got that number go up technology, if you know what I mean. Good to see so many people here in the live chat, over 100 of you with us live. Much love and much respect. Now let's break down the latest regarding Cathie Wood and her selling a small bag of some of her Coinbase shares as the stock just hit a yearly high. And then we'll dive into everything you need to know regarding ETFs, which is a hot topic here in crypto. Pro Bitcoin investment veteran Cathie Wood has taken some profits from ARK Invest's large Coinbase holdings by selling a small portion of its stash on July 11th, which was yesterday. Wood's investment firm ARK offloaded 135,000 Coinbase shares worth $12 million from one of its major exchange-traded funds, the ARK Innovation ETF. And according to the trade notification, the amount sold made up to 0.14% of the fund's total holdings. So again, a very small stash. Now, the sale comes as the Coinbase stock price has sharply increased on July 11th. The price briefly surpassed $90, surging from $82 to as high as $90.90, according to data from TradingView. Following Wood's sale, the stock closed at $89 on Tuesday, and according to TradingView data, which you can see here, Coinbase stock is still up more than 60% over the past month. Not so shabby, while the year-to-date increase is more than 140%. Now, the new sale by ARK is the second time Wood has taken profits from Coinbase shares thus far this year. On March 21st, ARK sold 160,000 Coinbase shares from its ARK FinTech Innovation ETF for $13.5 million at roughly $84 per share. And before taking fresh profits from ARK's Coinbase holdings, Wood has been actively accumulating the stock in multiple ARK funds. In June alone, ARK purchased about $40 million of Coinbase shares, and previously the investment firm bought around $33 million of shares between April and May, as well as $117 million worth of Coinbase shares back in March. Now, multiple Coinbase execs, including CEO Brian Armstrong, have been selling their shares as the price rallied in the recent months. On July 6, Armstrong and several other senior Coinbase execs sold a combined total of 88,000 shares worth almost $7 million at that time. And previously, Coinbase Chief Accounting Officer Jennifer Jones also offloaded 74,000 shares on June 29th, netting just over $5.2 million. Now, the rise of Coinbase stock comes despite the exchange facing a securities violation lawsuit from the US SEC from no Claire Gare. The growth could be primarily attributed to a fear of missing out on the BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF filing, which named Coinbase a surveillance sharing partner. So there you have it. How many of you are currently bullish on Coin, the Coinbase stock? And I think obviously for Cathie Wood to start accumulating heavily when it was like at all-time lows at the end of last year, and then even off of the back of the SEC enforcement deeming they're selling unregistered securities, she was still bullish, and she was right. Now, granted, she probably needed some cash to do whatever she got to do as she sold a very small portion, but it makes you wonder, maybe they know something that we don't know, and especially with BlackRock naming them as a partner, and we all know BlackRock's approval rate with ETFs with the SEC is like 575 to 1, so things that make you go, But anyways, fam, now let's discuss the latest from the Cboe Bitcoin ETFs to include with their Coinbase surveillance agreement. And then we'll dive more specifically into the BlackRock ETF, then the latest from the Grayscale CEO on the ETFs, and then followed by CZ, the Binance CEO, and his $10 million Bitcoin price prediction. Let's get it. And again, let me know who you are in the live chat, and we're going to have a very awesome interactive session here at the end of the show. Exchange operator Cboe Global Markets amended 5 spot Bitcoin ETF apps to include a surveillance sharing agreement with Coinbase. So they all want to partner with Coinbase. On July 11th, the Cboe amended filings with the US SEC from ETFs from Invesco, VanEck, WisdomTree, Fidelity, and Joint Fund by ARK Invest and 21 shares. The Cboe said it had reached an agreement on terms with Coinbase to enter into the SSAs, where we're settled June 21st. The initial filings for the ETF stated that parties were expecting to enter the SSA prior to potentially offering the ETFs. Now, the SSAs are an attempt to meet the SEC standards aimed at preventing fraudulent conduct and protecting investors, as outlined by the regulator March 10th, quoting them here. An exchange needs a comprehensive surveillance sharing agreement with a regulated market of significant size related to the undergoing of reference Bitcoin assets. Now, spot Bitcoin ETF apps have been a focus point for the industry lately. The filings by Fidelity, Invesco, WisdomTree, and Valkyrie follow the $10 trillion asset management firm BlackRock, which is the largest in the world, which also filed for an ETF for SEC approval. And on June 29th, the U.S. stock exchange, the NASDAQ, also refiled its app to list BlackRock ETFs, similarly inclusive of the SSA with Coinbase. Let's go. The Cboe's filings pushed Coinbase shares up nearly 10% on June 11th, reaching their highest price since August 16th, according to Google Finance, as you can see right here. And despite the involvement with Bitcoin ETF apps, Coinbase is currently battling out a lawsuit with the SEC for allegedly offering cryptos to the regulator, which they considered to be unregistered securities. So there you have it. If you were to guess which BlackRock, or not BlackRock, but which ETF filing app will likely get approved first, let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. If I was to pick, I'd absolutely go with BlackRock just because of the track record, and especially considering they control the world, literally meaning they own a piece of all the major corporations, including Standard Chartered Bank, who recently came out a few days ago, which I covered in the show, and they're predicting a $120,000 Bitcoin price in 2024, the year of the halving. All I gotta say is send it if you'd like to see this target come to fruition with a six-figure Bitcoin price by next year. Put a 1 in the live chat and holla at your boy. Yeah, now let's break down the next regarding BlackRock's ETF. The recent tsunami of spot Bitcoin ETFs filing should be seen as a moment of validation for Bitcoin, says Grayscale Investment CEO Michael Sonnenschein. During an interview on July 12th, the CNBC's Last Call, Sonnenschein rejected the notion that BlackRock's entrance to the Bitcoin ETF race made it uncool, quoting him here, to see literally the largest asset manager in the world publicly commit to advancing their crypto efforts only lends to the validity of the asset class and the staying power it has. Facts. And he, just for the last 4 weeks, at least 7 major institutional firms, including BlackRock, applied for a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States. And this is quoting him here from that interview. It's a moment of validation, he says, on BlackRock aiming to launch a Bitcoin spot ETF to see the largest manager in the world publicly commit to advancing their crypto efforts only leads validity to the asset class and the staying power in which it has. And he also says the ETF wrapper is tried and true and has become the access point for so many different assets, whether they're commodities or stocks. Bitcoin is an asset that is not going away. Investors want and deserve access to it. That's what's up. Until this point, Sonnenschein's Grayscale has been offering U.S. investors a roundabout way of gaining exposure to Bitcoin, enabling investors to trade shares in trusts holding large pools of Bitcoin via its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, better known as GBTC. However, the firm wants to convert it to a spot Bitcoin ETF too, which would allow investors a far simpler method to trade the price of Bitcoin without GBTC's pesky discount to net asset value, quoting them here. To be able to give investors Bitcoin exposure through GBTC, like we do today, has been an unbelievable milestone, but moving to an ETF structure will give the investors the additional protection that they want. So, Gary, why won't you accept this Bitcoin ETF to convert GBTC into a traditional spot Bitcoin ETF if you want to protect the investors? Why not? Because you don't care about the investors, if you were to ask me, but hey, that's my 2 Satoshis. In June 2022, Grayscale filed a lawsuit against the U.S. SEC over the rejection of its 2021 application to convert its GBTC, quoting them here. If we are successful in that challenge, there's actually billions of dollars of investor capital that would be unlocked through that, Sonnenschein said. Now, the price of Bitcoin obviously shot upwards of 20% in the days after BlackRock's filing for spot Bitcoin ETF on June 15th, reaching a new year high of roughly 31,500 on July 6th. And currently, we're still trading above 30,000. So happy days. So there you frickin' have it. And now for our next and featured story of the day, we're going to be discussing what is good with one and only CZ, considered the richest man man in crypto. At one point, he was considered to have over $90 billion worth of cryptocurrency. So he's one of the biggest hodlers out there. Now, we also know that we have MicroStrategy, which is Michael Saylor's company, which also controls roughly over 150,000 Bitcoin, making it the largest corporate treasury. We had Michael Saylor describing not putting his holdings into Bitcoin would be like a melting ice cube, losing 20 to 30% of its purchasing power. So he went hard. I think that was back like in 2020, and they continue accumulating and taking advantage of those dips and stacking them sats as they should. So anyways, back to CZ. He was just recently interviewed in Twitter Spaces, and he shared a fact. And the fact is that Bitcoin typically hits its peak the year after the halving. So we're going to discuss some of the highlights from this Twitter Spaces he just recently did, followed by a more recent prediction he did, I believe it was last year or the year before, and he said that Bitcoin price can rise 1,000x from the current price. At the time he made that prediction, Bitcoin was higher than the price it is today, so do keep that in mind. But just to be conservative, I just threw a $10,000 price point out there, but realistically, he's ultimately saying Bitcoin can hit like $300 million, because do the math. Let's just say from today's price of 30,000, for him to say the price can spike 1,000x from today's price, 100x on a 30,000 would be a $3 million Bitcoin. So 1,000x, we're literally talking about a $30 million Bitcoin or $300 million Bitcoin, which sounds outrageous, but nonetheless, this is coming directly from CZ, Xiangping Zhao of Binance. So let's break this down, and then we'll dive into our live Q&A. And again, welcome to each and every one of you in the live chat. We just broke 200. Let's see if we can get to 300 concurrent live viewers by the end of the show. That's the goal. Let's make it happen. Let's go. And shout out to CZ, by the way. So yeah, he was recently on a Twitter Spaces, and he recently shared his thoughts. He tackled several issues, including Binance's reaction to the ongoing regulatory scrutiny, the rise of institutional interest into cryptos, and BlackRock's recent move to the crypto industry. And he also highlighted the session of his prediction of Bitcoin's next bull market. Now, interestingly, CZ also addressed BlackRock's entry into Bitcoin's ETF market, and instead of expressing concern, he welcomed the move, asserting its considerable advantages for the entire crypto industry, despite concerns about traditional finance firms' intentions clashing with the Bitcoin decentralized nature. CZ showed very little worry. Now, as we all know, BlackRock is going to be getting involved in Bitcoin. Their CEO, Larry Fink, has made that very, very, very clear. And CZ identified two key factors driving the Binance strategy for the next 18 months. Here they are. The impending Bitcoin halving event, which we know is around the corner, roughly 9.5 months out, set to be in April, and the rising institutional interest in cryptos. These factors lead Binance to brace for higher trading volumes. And now he did make this prediction a little bit back, and he said Bitcoin can go as high as $10 million. So let's quote him from these specific predictions. And this was after MicroStrategy started to allocate into Bitcoin for their corporate strategy. Here's what he had to say. Right now, I think only 11 companies have announced they are allocating some, like usually less than 1% of their corporate treasury to Bitcoin. And we think that it is most likely what caused the initial price rise. I think MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor started it first, facts. But there are 650,000 companies in the world, like relatively established companies in the world, and their treasury is huge. If all of them only allocated 1% to Bitcoin, we are going to see, 1,000x more growth in the Bitcoin price. See, I wasn't exaggerating. He's literally calling for a $300 million Bitcoin, just FYI. And he continues, and if they allocate more than 1%, that's going to be even bigger. So I think people don't quite get the magnitude of the wave that is about to hit us. Now, the Binance CEO estimates the flagship crypto can go up from anywhere from 1,900% to 20,000% from the current price levels. And here's the exact prediction. With price predictions, it is really, really difficult, he says. I think it could go to, $1 million, $10 million? It's very hard to tell. So there you have it, straight up. Now, Samson Mao, I have a lot of respect for this guy. He more recently tweeted roughly 2 months ago, bears can call a drop for 17,000 because of technical analysis, which we call TA. I can call for 250,000 Bitcoin before the next halving. The bears can call sub 10,000 because reasons. I can call $10 million in the next 5 years because of a massive wave of corporate and nation state adoption. Can you see the difference experience. And someone wrote, love the Bears, why I'm still stacking. Love Samson when I am done stacking. So yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, fam, so there you have it. What are your thoughts surrounding CZ's $10 million price prediction as well as Samson Mao? And when do you feel that would be a realistic target? Samson saying it can happen within the next 5 years, which would take us to 2028. Not this halving of 2024, but the following halving. We shall soon see. We also have Cathie Wood, very bullish that Bitcoin will hit $1 million per coin by 2030. We got Tim Draper, who recently just extended his target as well of $250,000 Bitcoin. We got Max Kaiser calling for $220,000 Bitcoin. So the bulls are out. To be bearish at a time like this, to me, makes no sense, but hey, bears want to be bears. You got to do what you got to do. So anyways, let's dive into our live Q&A. Welcome to each and every one of you today in the live chat. Make some noise. Where you tuning in from? Corporate McMahon. Buff is the stuff. Word up. MB, what's good? Keep up the great work, bro. You got it. Eric Drummond back again. Bitcoin is going up as the money printer go brrr. You already know. Jeffrey, for some reason, I can't let myself become bullish as what until the next ETF is approved. You got to do what you got to do. We all know it's only a matter of time, and the SEC does have to make a decision, FYI, before the Bitcoin halving. And I think that decision is likely to be yes, considering BlackRock's track record. So 2024 may be the perfect storm we have all been waiting on and praying for. What's good, Satwise Jenks? What's good, Skip on down the road? What's good, Jeff? Good to see the fam selling with twins in the building. Nipsey needs a belly rub 100% every day, each and every day, as he's the mascot of the show. Your dog is tired. He's relaxing. We just went for a walk at the dog park, just got back. Lacey Watson put a 1 in there. That's what's up. SBF is a 1, says selling with twins. Baz says ARK Invest have good shot at having the first spot ETF, according to Cathie Wood. That's right. She made that argument because they're first in line. But the truth, the Winklevoss twins are first in line. They actually introduced the first application for a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States over a decade ago. We're going all the way back to 2013, and the SEC has unlawfully denying each and every application for the past decade, and meanwhile accepting spot Bitcoin ETFs, not spot, but futures. Why is that? Manipulation. They don't care about the investors. SEC is a front. We care about investors, but meanwhile, look at what they do to investors. They're harming them left and right. Do you know that the SEC was having a regular communications with Scam Bankman-Fried? Yeah, so they didn't help protect us from that $10 billion scam whatsoever. But meanwhile, they're going after Coinbase, went after Kraken. They're slapping this company and that company and anyone in each and every one they can go after. It's interesting, but hey, it is what it is. Mr. No Clarity Gary, come on, boy. Baz Dragons, yeah, I mean, there is a good chance we shall see. Tony Jeffries in the building. Shout out to Liverpool. Paul Gamble, what's up? Zap, good to see you. Put a 1 in the chat. Violin Jedi put a 1. Bart DeBellis put a 1. Mike Me put a 1. That's what's up. K-Dub Imaginary put a 1. Jeffrey says, I think they will approve them all on the same day before ARK's response deadline, which is August 14th. Thank you for sharing your thoughts there. Greatly appreciate that. This is pod episode number 1339. That is correct. If you're new to the channel, the most important thing you can do right now, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day. I go live as this is the #1 daily Bitcoin podcast out there. There is no one more consistent than me. I guarantee you that. I'm here each and every day. We're getting into the bull cycle. You can tell from the viewers. That's what's up, Matthew. Bring it. I hope this ETF doesn't get approved before 2024. I'd really love to see ETF approval in March 2024, having in April 2024, and the stimulus in May 2024. Rocket ship to the moon. Send it and let's go. You okay there, little Nipsey? Sound a little, I don't think people understand what is about to happen. This is the first cycle with Bitcoin coming off the exchanges. Exactly. Coinbase only has 50% of the Bitcoin that they had in 2020. That's right. This is the lowest we have seen it since the COVID crash. What's up, fam? Chris Minka. What's good, fam? Good to see you as well. Always a pleasure. I'm chilling on vacation. I take one every few weeks. Good for you, Chris. Enjoy yourself out there. Much love, much respect. It looks like, ETF is inevitable. The question is when. Bitcoin makes dreams come true. You already know. What's good, chat, says Virtual CEO. I like the vibe on this live. Greatly appreciate that. Appreciate the continued support. Much love, much respect. Extra Frosty. Good to see y'all. Going to listen while in the shower. Do what it do. After I do my own research, the only 2 shows I listen to are Crypto Newsletters Alerts and the gentleman of crypto. Greatly appreciate your continued support, Chris Minka. That's what's up. To me, it's kind of like handing out a crypto sports bar, talking to normies, just don't cut it. I feel ya. I can relate. Stizzle, what's good? JV is the man. Greatly appreciate that. Paul Gamble says, let's go. Let's go. BTFD, buy that freaking dip. Much love to Selling with Twins. Shout out to South Africa in the building. Smash that like. Greatly appreciate the support. All good JV, says Stizzle for Stizzle. From JV Varsity, let's go. Bring it. I love burritos at 4 a.m. and Twins. Are you literally eating a burrito right now? And is it 4 a.m. where you live? Holy moly. So that's a 12-hour time difference as it's 4 p.m. Here in Puerto Rico. We're Eastern time right now. Loving the volatility these last few days. Keep stacking them stats. You already know. Do what it do. Jeff, welcome. We just going to go sideways for a while? It does seem that way, Michael. But hey, what else is new? We know long-term trajectory is up. Who cares about the short-term volatility? As Michael Saylor once described volatility, it's life force. You know what I mean? The U.S. dollar doesn't have much volatility. It's dead. No life force. Bitcoin, it's all over the place because it's, it's like the Jedi, the birth of the Jedi. You feel me? We just go, yeah, you never know. Is it on yet? Yeah, I keep hearing these high predictions for years, says Michael Brown. Yeah, I remember, well, I wasn't around in Bitcoin then, but there was a time when Bitcoin was a penny and people said it would never go to $1. It hit $1. And then people said, well, it'll never go to $10. It hit $10. Then people said, well, it can never go to 100. Hit 100. People said it'll never go to 1,000. Hit 1,000. People said never go to 10,000. Hit 10,000. It'll never go to 20. Hit 20. It'll never go to 50. Hit 50. It'll never go to 69. Hit 69. Guess what? It's going to hit 100. It's inevitable. There is scarcity. It's finite, limited supply. It's the most rarest, scarcest, valuable, best, pristine form of money in the history of money, right? There can never be more printed. It's incorruptible. The governments can't corrupt it. Nobody can corrupt it. It doesn't even matter where it came from. So, you know what I mean? For those reasons alone, people are going to be hedging to find a money that is going to be a reserve asset that won't be dwindled like a melting ice cube, such as US dollar or Argentine peso, like we're witnessing right now in real time. The Bitcoin purchasing power continues to go up, and it's guaranteed to continue to go up, as the purchasing power of the dollar is guaranteed, my friends, to go down. And I say guaranteed because they're going to continue printing money. But guess what? They can't print more Bitcoin. Take that, central banks. Just saying. Final block is 117 years from now. Is it like the year 2140, if I'm not mistaken? Correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome to the best live crypto community chat around, fam. Smash the like on the way in. Show JV some love. Greatly appreciate that, brother. Much love, much respect. 3 halvings down, only 29 more to go. Well, let's go. Michael, we can watch your show if you can do better. Yeah, everyone has the right to launch their own show. Absolutely. If you don't like, the content, by all means, find another show that you resonate with or create your own show and we'll tune into you. Bart, what's good? My dollar cost average price is $38,543. I'm still a little in the red. Where is everyone else at? Yikes. On the grand scale of things, that's a better dollar cost average price than, say, $69,000. Some people bought in at the very top, so you got in kind of like in the middle. So just a matter of time before Bitcoin returns to its all-time high and you're 100% in profit. Let's go. I bought my first Bitcoin at under $2,000 back in 2017. I think it was roughly $1,500 and probably like $300 in fees to make the purchase. I used Coin Mama. I think I used a credit card, OPM, other people's money. I'm like, why not just use the bank's money? Swipe, boom, bought my first Bitcoins. So, but my average price, that's a great question. I really don't know what it is, but it is very low in comparison to that because the bulk of my buying was done when Bitcoin was probably somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000. So I'm very grateful for that. I've done very good on that investment and I keep on stacking sats regardless of the price because I'm in it for the long haul. I much rather have a stash of Bitcoin than dollars, because dollars, like I just mentioned, the purchasing power is guaranteed to go down. So why are we going to save dollars? Dollars are not for saving. Dollars are for paying your bills, if you're to ask me. Bitcoin is true savings, because if you want to leave a legacy for your family, you want to start stacking sats now while you still can. Also, they're the antidote to the CBDCs, which we all know are coming down the road, the central bank digital currencies. So our oppressors could try to do what they do best, which is enslave the masses and control them. I don't want to be controlled controlled. I don't want to be enslaved. That's why I BTC, my fam. What's good, Jeff? Welcome. Shed the Bitcoiner was popping. Jeffrey says, let's freaking go. Let's go. Let's get it. Nice try. Bart Day IRS. If a Bitcoin trust, not an ETF, first orange pill, then smash the like. Much love. Much appreciated. Is someone going to take over the GBTC? Who knows? Smash number 24. Word up. Appreciate the smashes. Much love, much respect. Hi from San Francisco. It's not nearly as scary as everyone online says it is. Well, according to Twitter, it's insane what's happening in San Francisco. But naturally, yeah, of course. The reality, the only way to experience reality is to be there. Otherwise, we only know what is shown, but things don't look so pretty, according to online. But glad to hear you're safe out there, Jeffrey. Much love. Greetings from the socialist state of California. Was good. Robert Brady, 2024 is going to be quite interesting with historical events from all the realms. Send it. Let's go. JV, what's your Lightning address? It's on the screen. So if you have a smartphone, you should just be able to scan it using, let's say, the Strike app, and you can zap me some sats. I appreciate that. Also, in the description below the video, you can click on see more, and I always list it for those of you who can't scan it for whatever reason, so you can copy paste the code. If you wanted to send me a tip, feel free to do so, and of course I greatly appreciate that, and thank you for asking. Hello brother from the Yield app. What's good, Staff T? Welcome brother. Virtual CEO. Bitcoin is a better investment value than real estate. 100% is digital real estate. It's more scarce, believe it or not. Does coin ever be 21 million coins? There's over 50 million millionaires in the entire world, meaning there's not even enough Bitcoin to go around for half the millionaires in the world to consider themselves a whole coiner. And consider you got people like Satoshi's wallet sitting on 1 million BTC, and then you got wallets like MicroStrategy sitting on 150,000 BTC. That's like hundreds of thousands or millions of less people who can become whole coiners as well. So more of a realistic number is probably 16 to 18 million Bitcoin, which will ever be circulating that are not in dormant addresses. So it just goes to show you the finite scarcity of this money, which makes it the most pristine collateral in the entire world, fam. Maybe King JV can give us a regular Lightning address to use. Is my Lightning address not regular? Please do clarify if I'm missing something. I want the ETF so badly. I think we all do, because we want that mass adoption. Now, hear me out. The ETF is not for regular plebs like you and I to invest in Bitcoin. Why would we want a third party to hold your keys, not your coins? We understand this, hence why we don't keep our crypto on the exchanges and we keep it in cold storage, such as a Trezor wallet, yada, yada, yada. However, it's for the large institutions that have the trillions upon trillions, like hundreds of trillions of dollars in institutions out there that need a spot Bitcoin ETF for them to legally be able to invest following their rules and protocols. So that's why we need it. It's going to help usher in mass adoption. As we know, a rising tide rises all ships. Bitcoin go up in market cap. I guarantee you the majority of the market will all go up along with it. Happy days. You feel me? The only stock I am bullish on is MicroStrategy. I put my parents in it 2 weeks ago, and it's up 27%. Shout out to Michael Saylor. Well, massive congrats to you, SatWise, and to your parents, and much love for taking action and doing what it do. Smart man. If I was to invest in stocks, it would definitely be Bitcoin-related stocks, 100%. Congratulations. People are staying there in the chat. Exciting times. I think they will approve them all on the same day before ARK's response deadline, which is August 14th. I hope you're right. Wouldn't that be something? That would be amazing, fam. Yeah, my 401 money is trapped. That's why I use GBTC. Also have cold storage, of course. Not your keys, not your cheese. That's what's up, Jeffrey. Smart move. Amarez, what was the owner of the KWY? I don't know what you're referring to, fam, if you want to enlighten me. If you never own an asset, how will you get rich? Says Jim Junkie Crypto. Facts. Good question. 1,000x is 30 million, not 300 million. Is that, someone can clarify that for me? Because I'm just doing the math in my head here. 30,000 today's price. If we were to 100x that, would that not be? Oh, I think you are correct. My apologies. So, no, 100x from 30,000 is, what is that? Man, I don't know. My mind is blanking out here. But 30,000 times 10 is 3 million, correct? Or no, that's 300,000. Okay, so 100 would be 30 million. Is that, okay, you're right. I guess you're right. I'm adding an extra zero. So thank you, Chetan Call. So 10 times 30,000 is 300,000. 300,000 times 10 is 3 million. And then 10 again would be 30 million. So my apologies. Earlier I said 300 million, which is outrageous. It's $30 million, which is still a great number, obviously, but I appreciate the correction and I appreciate that. So thank you for sharing. DCA from what time? Good question. Good question. 30,000 equals 30 million. Curtis, 300, add 2 zeros. I'm reminded from the movie, The Saline Twins, 30 mil. Yes, so we got confirmation there. So ultimately, when CZ predicted a couple of years back that Bitcoin price can likely 1,000x from that time, he's ultimately saying Bitcoin can hit over 30 million. And I believe Bitcoin was probably closer to 40,000 at that time. So he's ultimately saying Bitcoin has the potential to hit $40 million per coin. And I'll leave you with that. What up, Savage NFT? Welcome, fam. Anyways, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis as Bitcoin mining difficulty hits yet another all-time high. We also discussed the latest regarding Cathie Wood's ARK Invest selling 135,000 Coinbase shares as the price hits $90, as well as the Cboe refiling 5 Bitcoin ETFs to include Coinbase surveillance agreements, as well as Grayscale CEO says the BlackRock ETF filing is a moment of validation for Bitcoin. And we also discussed the latest from the Binance CEO CZ, quoting him from Twitter Spaces. It's the year after the Bitcoin halving, which is usually the bull year. We also discussed his $10 million price prediction and also him claiming Bitcoin price can go as high as 1,000x, which would ultimately be $30+ million per coin, which we just clarified here in the live chat thanks to your help. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the